you don't lack access to abundance. Proximity is important, and proximity can happen in many different ways. It can happen like these folks are here to watch us have this conversation today. It can happen when you read a book. It can happen while they're watching a podcast, like people are watching this podcast right now. So proximity, we have more access to proximity in 2026 than the human race has had in the history of the world. So everybody has access. You know, I like to share with people, you don't lack access to abundance. You lack awareness of the access you have to abundance. It probably happened when I was reading a book. Which book? I don't know. I've read thousands. But I was reading a book, I'm sure, and I realized, or probably heard Jim Rohn say, that profits are better than wages. I was like, profits are better than wages. I like that. And he said, you can, you work on your job to make a living, but you work on yourself to make a fortune. And I said, I know how to, I can work on myself. And so that's where that realization came from. It came from me exposing myself to people who knew things that I had not yet discovered. I think the biggest problem is that they make the mistake of believing that where they are is who they are, and they get their identity from their environment instead of getting their identity from the ultimate identity, which is God.
You can't. You can't teach a broke person anything.
That's
they know everything. You try to give them advice, and you just have to be like, this isn't even. You already know.
And then they got a pocket full of yabbits. Yeah, but what about this? And yeah, but what about that? And yeah, but what about that? Right? They got a pocket full of yabbits. Anyway, the scripture says, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. But here's what's really interesting. The next thing it says is, because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. It wasn't that the people couldn't know that they didn't know. It was that they wouldn't know that they didn't know. What is the biggest hindrance to learning? Thinking that you already know.